G'day. Oh, if I do that, do I get the fireworks?
Oh, yeah, you do. And the thumbs up.
And the thumbs up. Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year, everyone.
We're still in Albania. We're in a town called Durres. We came up from Saranda to Durres because we needed a quiet little getaway for the New Year and Christmas. So let's see if anyone's in and say hello. We're going to be chatting with you a little bit about what our plans are, and I'm also just going with cooking our dinner also, so I've got to get that done. It's not that it feels like it's an inconvenience. It isn't. I plan to cook the dinner. Gotta
have something to eat.
Got to have something to eat. So, hello everyone. A happy New Year. What a beautiful place. We are in Durres. Actually, today the weather's a little bit...
Well, it was okay earlier on. It's getting a bit later.
Yeah,
now,
but no blue skies today, and we've had blue skies most days.
Skies.
I can probably give you a little look-see, so you can see what looks blue there. It is not blue.
No.
Now I've messed up my microphone. Sorry about that. Is anybody in? Dwayne is in.
Hello,
G'day, Dwayne.
How's the sound, Dwayne?
Is my sound okay? Should be coming out of this. Hello, hello, hello. I've got myself a beer.
You have?
I'm going to recommend to anybody from Albania that stop drinking that light, awful beer. Get this dark beer. This is a Corcha Dark.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dwayne.
Have I got the right one? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. It's only got the word dark written on there. So
the picture's the same, isn't it?
It's the same picture, but it reminds me of the old, was it Tenants that used to do cans with pretty girls on the thing? Anyway, it's got a girl on there carrying a couple of beers. This is a dark beer. There's another dark beer in Albania that I haven't been able to find. That's the Puk dark beer, and I'd love to try that. This just got more flavour, so I'm going to have that. I'm probably going to get into trouble again. I got in trouble the other day on Meraki in a water glass. It's all I've got. So I've got a wine glass. I'm going to have a beer. Michelle's just going to have water. We've just had coffee. We should have saved it. We just had coffee out while we were talking about doing the live stream.
It's a bit late for coffee anyway. Don't like to.
It is a bit late. So Michelle said she'll stick with water. You haven't even got a dial, have you? No. So it is what it is. G'day, Dwayne. Happy New Year to everybody. Let me get these pommes frites on, these chips.
So who else is in there? Anybody else going to say hello?
Anybody else going to say hello? So I'm over here.
Is it just us and Dwayne? It's great to have you in, Dwayne.
Look, if I can recommend anything to anybody, stop getting oven chips. They're disgusting. We bought a packet of oven chips the other day, and then I got some potatoes, local potatoes, good Albanian potatoes, cut them to nice thick chips. You can do them thin. You can do Stringfellows. You pop these in the oven just on a tray like you would oven chips, and they'll take almost the same time to cook, but these taste delicious. Whereas
to get oven chips brown, they turn so dry.
Yeah, they end up like cardboard. So all I'm doing is I've got a regular 2 big potatoes. I've sliced them up into rather chunky chips. Sometimes we do them smaller than this. You pop these in the oven, 180 degrees for 40 minutes max, and then you're going to end up with a beautiful, the best French fries. I mean, chips, French fries, whatever you want to call them. So what I do...
You're on the laptop, that's why he's not taking you with him.
Yeah, that's why. What I do is I get some olive oil. Do. I get I do, but now you might think, well, does that make them more unhealthy? The oven chips are covered in oil. If you feel them, they're covered in oil, but you're probably using less oil, maybe about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then... It's like a welcome to Steve's kitchen, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And then I've got this little pasta seasoning. Quite nice. Chilies in, garlic, a little bit of basil, chips.
We've got a little bit of a kitchen here, haven't we?
Yeah, we've
got things so that we can actually cook.
While I'm talking to you, we've got a lovely cauliflower today.
We did. I
like a little black pepper on there also. I'm going to get plenty of black pepper.
You don't have to do this, but it's nice to season the chips.
You can do them unseasoned. I notice this pepper mill tends to put most of it on the table.
Yes, it misses, doesn't it? I've noticed that.
So once you sort of cover those, if you had this is the biggest bowl I've got in this little kitchen. So just coat them over, and I'll get you maybe Michelle to pop those in the oven. So we're going to pop those in the oven, 180 degrees. And I turn that, and you can see the kitchen.
The kitchen is here.
The kitchen is there. Michelle's going to pop them in the oven. And we're cooking. Not cooking on gas, we're cooking on electric. So, and we picked up a beautiful cauliflower today. And will you pass that? And when you come back, Michelle, will you bring that weird... Somebody in the comments can tell me what it is, I'm sure. Anybody else there? Just you, Dwayne? 17 people in, nobody's saying hello. Hit the thumb up, say hello. That's me, by the way. When I go like that, that's my new year. I'm pretty dry.
There's your cauliflower.
The cauliflower, we've got a beautiful cauliflower. We're just going to pop that onto the stove. No, I meant the cream.
Oh, the cream.
Sorry.
I wasn't really listening.
We've also got, I don't know,
The name of this one.
we don't know what the name is, but it's super popular. Don't worry, I'll work it out. This is like almost a sour cream. You can't see. We bought this yesterday and it was full. It's a sour cream with peppers.
Yes.
Like slightly hot capsicum peppers, not really hot. So in there, I'm not going to dip in because it gets filthy. It's like a big chunk of sour cream. What's the name? Maybe somebody who's from Albania can remind me, because we've had this in restaurants before. It's delicious. I mean, we got half a kilo, a pound of this for about €2. Yeah, so
it was good.
It's delicious. It goes really well with the French fries.
So Mario says hello. Are you still in Albania?
We're in Durres.
And Raymond Eid brackets Ray is doing a hello. And Dwayne says looks like cream cheese or
it's like a sour. It's like a sour cream.
It is sour cream, yes.
Are you standing up now? Or
no, I'm just going to put this away and then I'm going to sit down. I'm just doing the.
Michelle was there. She was kind of leaning into the computer. Out of shot.
Mario said it's a Greek yogurt sauce.
It's not a yogurt. It's definitely not a yogurt. It's more like a sour cream, almost towards a mayonnaise.
Definitely said that one.
Definitely dairy, yeah. It's definitely not a yogurt. Yeah. If it is a yogurt, it's slightly soured.
Yes.
But delicious. And there is a name. It's an Albanian drink. Let's get a little celebration. Oh, I'm all over the place, Michelle.
Thank you, Dwayne. I did see your question. I was just waiting for Steve to give me a gap so I could ask it. Any plans to visit Corfu?
We had the chance just last week while we were, the last week while we were down by Corfu to go over. The only problem is, Dwayne, is it's kind of shut up for Corfu seems, from what we understand, almost shut down.
Even the airport closes for about 2 weeks. So
in January, it just shuts down. So we were a little bit wary about just going across there and finding most of the stuff shut up. Even here in Durres, it's running on 80%. I mean, there's so many places closed. So we're probably not going to go across to Corfu. I really wanted to, and this is one of the things we've been deliberating this last week. We've been to Corfu, not to Corfu, over to Athens, Greece. So many things, and that's why I wanted to talk, maybe run through you what's been going on in our minds, because some of the things we're thinking is, I'll turn to Michelle so we can rehash these ideas. There's some beautiful places nearby: Corfu, Greece, Turkey, Italy, but it's getting into that really cold season. It's generally January, February is when it's going to be the most cold. And I always remember when we stayed in Sicily a few years back, that it was super cold, and we had to have a log fire. We had a log fire, which is quite nice, but we're not probably in the mood to just do a month and a half of log fires for just the case, for the sake of it. And look at this beer. Who's in? Anyone else in?
And Dwayne says it's Orthodox Christmas Eve today.
Oh, is it? Happy Orthodox Christmas Eve.
6th of January.
What other names are in there, Michelle? Anybody? Say hello if you want Michelle
Ray,
to call
Mario,
you up.
and Dwayne.
Ray, Mario, Happy New Year to you. If you want me to say Happy New Year, say it down in the comments, and we can give you a quick shout out. So we've got the chips, French fries, whatever you want to call them, chunky chips cooking in the oven. We've got that lovely, do you want to have a little Google and see what that's called for me, Michelle? Yeah. Google.
So Mario says Happy New Year, and Eddie says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Eddie. Happy New Year to you. It's going to be a great year. This year is going to be great. Look at this. Typical of a dark beer. It's all head. but that is beautiful. It's not a Guinness. This is more like a Newcastle brown ale, but it's got loads and loads of great flavour. And much as I might be laughed at for putting this in a wine glass, I actually quite like a beer in a wine glass. So it delivers a really nice sort of, it puts the flavours up your nose, so to speak. So cheers to everybody.
So
you haven't got a glass or anything to
no,
cheers
cheers. Sorry,
cheers.
Chin.
Happy New Year. Set the fireworks off. Oh, that's thumbs. That's not fireworks.
That's not fireworks.
No.
We did have fireworks, didn't we?
Did have. What's going on?
No, on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, outside we had.
That was amazing.
Try one more time.
I just want you one. Shall I try?
I think it's because you're in the shot and it's got two people.
It worked earlier.
Well, it went just a moment ago, didn't it?
No, just one. Should try my ones.
Anybody else want to try for us? Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, give us a little heart. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Why is that not working? Is it because that's in the way?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's picking up on that.
There
we go.
That. You've got fireworks.
So the old Corcher. See the pretty girl on the can of Corcher was diverting your eyes.
So it's Adjicme Specker.
Specker?
Speccha,
I think.
Speccha.
Yes. So, yeah, that's what we've got. We've had it out once or twice, and we just saw in the supermarket that they were selling it in the delicatessen. And I said to the girl, "Can we have give me?" It was ever so reasonable price. I think it was, I don't know, 300 and something. 400 maybe max a kilo. So I said, give me 500 grams, and we end up with this massive
it's huge
pot of it, which actually turns out to be fine because it's really delicious. It's really good.
Fridge, so we kept it for the next day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we're in a lovely.
Hello, Steve from Rasher in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Steve.
No, hello, Steve from Rasher.
Oh, g'day, Rasher. So lovely apartment. We've got a beautiful apartment here. We've got a TV we don't really use, but we've got this lovely big sofa, sitting area, big dining table, which I've turned at a jaunty little angle for maximum effect. We've got a kitchen over here, and I'm in reverse. So when I'm pointing that way, my arm's going that way. We've got a beautiful fitted kitchen, two bedrooms. Two bathrooms,
one each.
Our own bathrooms. We've been to this place on the drive down. You might have seen a week or so back, maybe just over a week. We drove down the country and we stopped briefly in Durres and we checked out some places. This was the place that we rather liked. And I said to Michelle when we were down in Saranda, we'll go back up to Durres and we'll stay in this place. Lovely little place, lovely host.
There'll be a video coming up soon, which will show this.
Yeah, we've just made a video, so that's we're just in the middle of editing it. It'll be up in the next couple of days.
Howdy, Mr. Old Clunker.
Hey, Mr. Old Clunker. Cheers and a happy new year to you and a merry 2025. That is really nice. So it's really nice. I wouldn't say it's the best dark beer that I've had, but it's the best beer I've had in Albania. Sorry guys, if you caught your blondes, if you like your lagers, you like your lagers. If you like your beers that have got flavour, and I serve this at room temperature, by the way, never chill it.
Yeah, it's not always easy to get dark beers, and when you find one that you like,
lovely jubbly.
Yes.
So
Rasha is saying, what do you think of living full time in Albania? We're thinking of retiring in Albania from the States.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a beautiful place. I wouldn't just rock up here and retire. You need to come and spend at least 3 to 6 months renting a place. Do not come here and just buy a place. We've seen this done so many times in our lifetime, in our many chapters of life, where people just sort of say, oh, that looks nice, or they've been here for a holiday, maybe done 2 weeks, and they come over here, they put all their investments in here, they maybe buy a place or just, put a commitment into a place. It's a madness. It's a fool's errand, and you will make mistakes. So just don't do that. Come here and rent somewhere for 6 months. Ideally, you want to do a winter because you need to know what it's like over here, and particularly where you're staying. You need to do a winter.
You get a better deal if you come in the winter, because the summers can be quite high.
You'll get a better deal, but you'll also get a feeling of what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, winter is not like 2 months here. It's many, many months of very, very cold weather. So get yourself over here probably either towards the end of the summer or towards the end of the winter, and get yourself a full 2 seasons. I think you need to have winter included in that session. So you need to get through to December, January, February.
That's a good place to retire.
Great place. There's a lot of. The food is good. It's not cheap here. I'm going to do a video about the costs of Albania. So, but as a tourist, I think most people will find Albania quite cheap. But as a traveller, Michelle and I, we travel all the time. You're not going to find Albania super cheap compared to many parts of the world. I mean, I chuck 100 Australian dollars at the exchange guy almost every few days. It goes so quickly because general costs are fairly high, so it's not super cheap. But if you're coming from somewhere like, I've seen somebody came over from New York and they said, oh, it's so good. And I think, yeah, from America, from Australia, from most of Europe, you're going to find it, but actually not most of Europe. I think there are many places in Europe that are equally as cheap, or if not much cheaper than Albania. So for sure. Any other questions, please ask.
So Dwayne says, what's the coldest temperature it gets in the winter?
It gets down to your -10s and lower, because there's a lot of mountains. Every city here seems to be surrounded by mountains. I mean, you saw in the video just got to be a couple of weeks ago, we were up in Death in the north, and we were, knee deep in snow. It was icy cold. So it gets proper cold winters. I'm surprised in a way, Michelle. I've said this to you before, that the weather here is not that much better than, say, the weather up in, say, Germany, UK. It's as cold here as it is there, but
I think they maybe get
we're much further south.
Summer.
But I think they have clearer skies, bluer skies.
We have had blue skies.
We get the impressive sort of constant drizzle. At least that's my experience. And we've only been here a couple of months. So I think it would be a wonderful place to retire. But you have to, I would slap anybody that just came over here and said, this is, I had a holiday here, this is where I'm going to retire. You've got to come and give this a try.
So Russia has said, we've lived in Egypt before, so we do know not to have unattainable expectations. What city? We do like the sea views, but no party cities.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter whether you've been in Egypt. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter whether we've lived in hundreds of countries over the years, and it doesn't matter if you've been to other countries. You still have to come here for 6 months. I guarantee you. I have lived in so many parts of the world, and I've seen so many people. I remember once friends of ours in France who came over and just sold their house, came over to France, and bought a property in a little village in France, and they'd only been on holiday, and they came over, they bought a place, and then they realised they paid American prices for it, so British American prices for the property, and they realised just after they moved in, oh, this isn't what we expected. You can't sell. It's impossible because you paid crazy.
You can sell, but you take a big loss.
You take a massive loss. So it's so reasonable. You can rent a place here for 6 months for a nice place. I know it gets more expensive.
And don't always cut all of your ties from where you're coming from, so you can step back if you want to. But if you really love it here and it's where you want to be, then you just say, okay, we go for it once you've had your
absolutely. But you come over here and you can rent places here for as little as, if you want a really nice place, you're probably about €1,000 a month. If you want a place like this, you'd get for 400 or 500 a month. I'm pretty sure you'd find a place like this anywhere for 400 or 500 euros, which is similar to the US dollar. You would be mad as a box of, I don't even know the acronym I would use, but to come and commit without renting. The other thing is renting. This is something I wish I could teach almost anybody that wanted to retire abroad. Renting allows you to feel, once you live in a place and you rent it in a place for more than 2 months. You get 3 or 4, 5 months. You start to understand. You make a few friends. They say to you, "Oh, you know what? You don't want to be there. You want to be here. Here's the place you should be. Here's the prices you should pay." If you come over as a foreigner, you're going to pay 4 times the price for your rent. You're going to end up in the wrong locations. I think I've made my point.
That one.
I made my point.
Yes. So Dwayne said it's not as cold as it can get in parts of Canada. No, Canada can get very cold, but it does get pretty cool up in the mountains here, and we're not far from snow. There is snow on them mountains.
On the mountains just over here. I'm not going to turn the camera around because you won't be able to see it too far away.
Yeah.
But it's Canadian cold. I mean, you're going to be getting sort of minus degrees. Probably not
as cold.
Not as cold, no. But then surprisingly cold.
So Eddie asks, have you two been to Hawaii yet?
Yes, we have. A long time ago, though. Loved Hawaii. It's beautiful. Yeah, we've spent time when our kids were younger in Hawaii, so we did.
We did Christmas in Hawaai, didn't we?
Did we do Christmas
We
there?
did do Christmas.
We did, didn't they? Yes. They had all the Santa stuff going on. Yeah, on Waikiki Beach.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah. We were all in Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah,
we all
had
the same Hawaiian. So we've got photographs of all the children in those Hawaiian with what's those flowers called?
Oh yeah, the flowers. Yeah.
What are those? Pretty.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them Hawaiian flowers.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Yes.
So yes.
So Dwayne said we had minus 40 degrees Celsius temperatures. Ooh, that's a bit cold. Yeah, it doesn't quite probably doesn't get as cold as that here.
The thing is, cold is cold. Once you get down to sort of -5, -10, it's cold. There's no, once you're cold, it's cold.
And
unless you're sat in a tree with a sort of umbrella and you're in a home and you can warm it up, it's much of a muchness, because once you get down below sort of the minuses, the air gets quite dry, so you can feel. And we've had -11, 12 degrees where we've lived in the past, and it doesn't feel any worse than say 0.
And I think if the country has very cold temperatures, the houses and things are built
generally, generally if you any country that gets those sort of temperatures is not building sort of like tiki houses. They're building things with proper glazing.
It says the wind also affects things. Yes, it is the wind blowing.
And the damp, but the damp tends to, once you get to those very cold temperatures, the damp, you're not going to get anything going mouldy at -10 and below. And I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. If somebody wants to share that, they can.
Afternoon, Benedict. Good that you've joined us.
Oh, good afternoon, Benedict. Bonsoir. Ça va?
So Rasha says, we're not interested in buying a property, we will rent. Can you recommend a nice quiet city on the sea, Durres, Vlora or Saranda?
My choice would be Saranda. I think it's the prettiest of the coastal cities we've seen. And it's very close to, hop, skip and a jump if you want to go into Greece and just sort of, if you're doing visa runs and things like that, if you consider that you might be initially, just testing things out and you're not sure how long you can stay, you can get a boat over to Corfu.
Half an hour.
You can almost swim there, come back and renew your visa. So definitely, I think Saranda is one. There are a few. I like Saranda a lot. You'll see I only made a couple of videos in Saranda, the last few. Check them out.
We didn't see it in the summertime because I think it gets very busy.
That's the thing. I mean, I would say to you maybe Durres, but everybody I meet here says it's bedlam in the summer. It's like so full of tourists.
It's so close to Tirana as well.
Yeah, so and that wouldn't appeal to me. I mean, if it ends up being so chock-a-block with tourists, that just would feel wrong. So and Saranda also is going to be that. So
a lot of people say Vlora, but we weren't a fan.
I didn't like
but
Vlora.
Maybe we didn't get to the right place.
Maybe.
Sometimes you've got to go back and give it a second chance. I mean, I think if you're coming over to actually choose a city, maybe spend a little time traveling up and down and seeing which one takes your fancy, and then pick one and have a longer stint there. Because it's not a very big country, is it, in distance-wise to get from.
Commit yourself to 6 months trying some different places. Book yourself a 2 month in the city. I probably would be in Tirana. Yes. If I was living here, I'd probably be in Tirana because I like the city and it's not far from the coast. But we really loved Shkodra. We loved the north, but I like also to be fairly close to the coast, although you're never far from the coast here.
No.
Yeah, just
So Eddie says an Explorer yacht might be an option. You could go anywhere and live on board or in cities and have flexibility, as long as you can afford it, of course.
well, yeah.
And you like sea.
Yeah.
Like living on a boat.
Doesn't appeal to me, a yacht.
No, doesn't really appeal to me.
Not really. Not
No.
getting that. But there's a load of people that love it. We've
Mhm.
friends that live and tour on yachts, other YouTubers that do it. So if it's your thing, then it's probably heaven. But for me,
Rasha says, great, thank you both for the valuable information. That this helps.
thank
Cool.
you. Maybe other people who watch the live stream later might find that useful.
Yeah.
Like I say, I mean, just find a place, rent a place out, probably budget yourself €500 a month for an apartment, a nice apartment near the coast. A lot of people say to me, you can't get in, but yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Even in the summertime. But then say for
Talk
this,
to people are very friendly.
yeah,
just
and the
chat to
longer you're
everybody.
here, the quicker you'll find. If you go onto a website like Numeo, Numbeo, it'll give you some sort of cost comparisons between cities and countries. It's a good Expatistan also gives you that sort of data, but you can kind of see what the rental costs are, and it's pretty accurate. Now you won't get
in the city and in the countryside as well.
It won't give you the rates, tourist rates, because it's not accounting for the fact that you're a tourist and you're paying it through the nose, but it'll give you what locals are paying, approximate, and it'll give you a book. I wouldn't pay more than what the locals. We found this when we stayed in Japan, that we met people that were there on holidays and were paying sort of $3,000-4,000 a month for their holiday apartments. But Michelle and I knew that locals were only paying about $600 or $700 a month for an apartment, and that's the budget that I set myself, and I found a place. So we found a really nice. It was a good place.
Yeah.
Super modern.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you might not always get it as cheap as the locals, but you definitely won't get
no,
it.
you should expect to pay 30% more.
Yeah.
But once you've been here a while, you should not expect to pay a penny more.
No. So there you go.
So I got, by the way, just a little sidetrack. I went down to the shops. Now, some of you may know I'm a bit of a digestive biscuit fan. Chocolate digestives. McVitie's chocolate digestives, packet of 9. Very strange packaging. Chocolate digestives. I've never. They're quite. I'll eat anything with McVitie's and chocolate written on it. They're the weirdest digestives.
I'm just going to say for Benedict's, is it Sablé Anglaise?
Sablé Anglaise Benedict with the chocolate.
Fantastic in France.
In France, they're delicious. Here, it almost looks like a rich tea, doesn't it? It looks like a rich tea, and the chocolate's a little bit. I think it's made in Albania.
Nothing wrong with them. But
nothing wrong with them, but they are not. I don't know if they're fake McVitie's. They almost strike me. No, I had a look at it, and because I thought at first, is that fake? It tastes nothing like a McVitie's, but it's quite palatable.
Benedict says she knows them.
Yeah. Oh, yummy. One of my favourite biscuits, Benedict. I'm a sucker for a chocolate digestive biscuit dipped in a cup of tea or coffee. How long have those been in? Do they need a little shake up? Or no?
I can see them doing stuff, but not ready yet.
So what else? Okay. So I think what I want to talk about is what we're planning to do, because we're going to stay a little bit longer in Albania. Not a lot longer, I think, because also our visa probably will run out.
Before we make a decision.
The odd thing is, when we came in, they didn't chop anything in our passport, so you actually have to know when you came in and know when to leave. So you've got to look at you have to know. There's no chop in the passport saying get out by.
I actually looked at a photo which had the date on it.
Yeah. So we got to know when to leave, and it will be coming up soon, because we've been here for 2 months, and it's been an amazing trip. As you can see, we've really enjoyed Albania. I love the people, love the food. So I would highly recommend it, but it wouldn't be my retirement place for a number of reasons that I'll go into maybe in another thing. Everyone's life experiences are different, and what they expect out of life are quite different. We were definitely thinking of heading to one of the neighbouring countries, and actually from Durres, we came to Durres because we were going to get the boat over to Bari in Italy. And from what we can see, is it's kind of not the best time of year, not even close to the best time of year to be in any of these places. So I said to Michelle, maybe we should just, you know, we've got everything's gone through our mind. We've had a week of just thinking about what we're doing.
We come up with a plan. We go to bed.
Go to bed, wake up the next morning completely different. Completely. I lay there in the morning and my mind is whirring. And I come up with a completely different plan. So we'd be happy to hear from you guys what you think. I'm erring towards going somewhere warm. I think we both like a little bit of sunshine.
Well, you said you were going to take me somewhere warm.
I did about 3 months ago. We were at Rick's, and I said, "Yeah, let's go take a shower somewhere warm." And to be honest, it's been warm.
It has been.
It's not dreadful. It's not dreadful. And
it's just that we're getting into January, February, and in
proper winter.
Winter is January, February.
Yeah. Yes. If you're going to get really unusually cold weather and snowstorms, it's going to be in Europe. It's always going to be in January and February, and that's why I say anyone that's coming over here, come this time, so you know what you're getting yourself in for.
So quickly, Larry says, "Hello, lovely couple. Steve Owens, Happy New Year. Greetings from
Happy New Year, Larry.
Malaysia."
Oh, Ipoh.
Eddie said, "I love that mountain town you visited, rugged winter beauty."
That was lovely.
That was lovely. That was just a unexpected little treat that we.
Who said that?
Eddie.
But Eddie, there was no one there. It was. We were like the only people there. It's so quiet. Yeah. It was like a ghost town.
And then we could have stayed up there for a night.
We were offered to stay. They actually said to us, "Why don't you check?" Because we'd already booked into the hotel in the city, and it was owned by the same people. And they said, "Well, you could stay here."
And we're coming back tomorrow, and we'll take you home.
But we didn't, because we had nothing. We didn't prepare. We would have we had nothing. Not a toothbrush, which would have been fine. But wasn't the drive back exciting anyway? So it was fun. We made the right choice. We made the right choice.
So Rasha says, "What is the best country in your mind that you love and recommend?" That's always a hard one, isn't it?
That is. We get asked this so many times, and it changes so many times. Yeah, just give those. Michelle's going to give those. So I don't know how long we've been live streaming, but it'll give you an idea. We put the chips in about. The steam's coming out. We put the chips in just about 5-10 minutes into the start of the video.
They're cooking.
Who knows? I mean, I often say, hit that heart button. Hit that heart button for where I'm going to say. I think one of the most beautiful places in the world is Australia. I mean, to be honest, it's an absolute gem of a country. It's got everything from, you can always be in the warmth. It's clean and fresh. It's a little expensive, but everywhere's getting a little expensive. Other than that, outside of Australia, where we can go and stay with the family and visit all the beautiful Australian cities, I've got my heart is a little bit, because we spent many years of our life in Asia. It's probably in parts of Asia. I've really enjoyed last year, mostly almost a year and a bit now. Really enjoyed that sort of Taiwan, Japan, South Korea. I love those part of the world. I think they've got so much to offer. I can see good reasons to live in almost anywhere in the world. I'm going to say, if I start adding, Mexico was great. I love the USA. I think the USA, people don't understand how great their places are until they leave them. America is wonderful. We haven't been to Canada yet. One day maybe we will.
Well, Benedict says, "Have you thought of visiting Morocco?"
Yes. Benedict, we've got a real problem with Morocco. It's kind of we've been this far. We've been stepping into Morocco about 20 times.
So many times.
Even this week we were gonna head over there. I tell you what, Morocco needs a good kick up the arse, and I'll say that
it's a silly thing.
If Morocco have, because the king of Morocco, pardon me, Morocco, but it's always some knob at the top, isn't it? Has made it so they confiscate your drone off of you whenever you go into the country, and if you don't declare your drone, they may even take it off you on the exit. So they literally just take it off you. So $1,000 out the window, and it's a known thing in Morocco that you cannot travel there with a drone, and they're very officious about it. Apparently somebody important one day had a drone fly over their house, spat their dummy out, and now you can't go into Morocco. So consequently, Morocco loses tourism hand over fist. I mean, we could have gone there so many times recently, even when we were in Bordeaux.
Yeah, well, Benedict, oops, forgot about the drone.
Yeah, when we were in Bordeaux, we were just going to pop over to Morocco, and we said, I can't find anywhere to stay. I don't want to risk, smuggling the drone in, and they do call it like narcotics. It's literally
come up with all sorts of ideas.
So the amount of times we felt like, we could go over to Morocco for a week. And we say, it's not worth the effort. You've got to find somewhere to put the drone, or you've got to declare it. You can declare it. They will keep it for you. And if you exit the same place, you may get it back.
May get it back.
So
do you want to risk it?
Sod Morocco for being such a bunch of ridiculous sort of like technophobes. It's unbelievable. We probably would have been there this year 100%. If they did not have that policy in place. And it's all because some crown prince, Norbert,
Benedict says, I can keep it for a few weeks.
Yeah, I know, but
loads of
people could do, but then we've got to then physically, if I leave it here, for example, I could leave it here with these guys, but then I've got to physically come back, and if it's stopped, if I'm in Morocco and I say, it'd be quite nice now to go down to South Africa or go to, I can't, I've got to go back. So it just really messes us up. So no, Morocco is not having my tourism dollar at the moment while I'm traveling with a drone, and I would love to go there some point.
So Jerry,
and it's warm. We could go there and warm.
It would get warm. Yep, but no.
Yeah.
Jerry says, "Hello, where are you now?" And Sod Morocco. We're in Albania.
Because I can feel I've got this. We're coming from outside.
Yeah. It's quite cool outside, shall we say? So we sort of walk briskly. We've had a few little walks along the beach, and it's lovely out there. But when it does make your nose run because it's quite cold.
I noticed when I came in, I haven't got the microphone on me, so I haven't had to use the microphone to blow my nose. But we.
And Jerry says Malta, Croatia.
Yeah, but they're all cold. Even Malta, even though they sound great, right? Croatia, Dubrovnik, Malta. We've done it before. We came here. We've been in Sicily, Spain even. We thought we've really wanted to go to Spain, but everybody's indicating if you go to Spain, you're just about to hit the only cold months of the year. And if we get to, even if you get right down into Seville in the south, there's still chance you're going to be sat in a parka. And we just don't feel like it. No.
Eddie says a camera on a tethered balloon might suffice for a trip to Morocco. We could do that from Spain, couldn't we? Yeah. Sit in Tarifa and just sort of hang it over there.
Yeah, we could fly over from Tarifa and just sort of like, if we got the kilometres, we could get over there, fly over the Royal Palace, take loads of photographs, come back and put them online.
Yeah. So Dan says, hello from North Carolina. I will take
Dan.
Your advice about renting for 6 months before committing to a move. I look forward to a video about why you wouldn't retire in Albania.
No, it's not why I wouldn't retire. I'm not looking to retire somewhere. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't retire in Albania. I'm not looking to retire. Yeah. I'm not looking for a place to retire. If you're looking for a place to retire, so this is basically, that video is being done right now. I'm not looking for a place to retire. Neither one of us are. So if you are looking for a place to retire, Albania is definitely worth it. Yeah. I'd say some people are looking for a place to retire for financial reasons, and I think most people are looking to sort of cut their costs.
Come try and check it out. Do 6 months at least, and then
if you're doing that, there's a lot of places you could go that offer great deals.
I mean, this is a good place because you can come. I think the visa thing is not an issue. You can step out and come straight back in again. They are looking to join the other people, so maybe they'll get tagged in.
Eventually, they'll be in that awful bureaucratic state of Europe. Sorry, Benedict. No, not France, because beautiful country, but Europe, the EC.
But the restrictions they put on you,
So there's loads of reasons why you could come here, and loads of reasons why. There's a perfect place. It's just the reason I'm not looking to retire here, because I'm not looking to retire anywhere particularly. We love traveling.
So as Eddie says, you're already living a retired life. Travel is the best way to explore the world.
If I'm wanting somewhere to retire, I'm going back to Australia, because that's the place, that's the most beautiful country. Yeah, it's got everything. We've got just so much. In Australia, if it gets a little cold, you can just move. The whole country has got almost the perfect climate. everywhere. So we are blessed to be Australian citizens, and we can go there without any issues and visa issues or anything like that. You know, why would you not? But
So Benedict says, go to Spain, book a safe to let your drone, and go to Morocco. But then we've got to go back to pick it up.
Yeah, we got that. We've thought about that, Benedict. I've looked into it. I've been into Seville in Spain. I've even looked at where to rent the lockers. Generally, they're by an hour, so that's not so good. We've thought about a few friends we know that way we could leave the drone with. But the problem still remains. Whenever you're traveling, if you leave something somewhere, if you chuck an anchor down, a valuable anchor anywhere, you've got to go back. And Michelle and I don't travel like that. So we'll go to Morocco. We'll do it from another place when we haven't got the drone.
And she says, you're way too young to retire.
Yeah, I'm only
21.
26.
Rasha says, does it get tiring or draining to keep on traveling and not staying in one place for a long while?
It does get very tiring and draining, but doesn't everything?
Yeah.
You know,
we tend to travel slow if we can. We don't do the bounce.
We get times when we have to stop for a month or so. Yeah. And that's probably coming up soon. I think the next stop we'll have a little bit of a slow.
We've had a little bit of a week over Christmas. We needed to be somewhere over the Christmas period because it gets busy in places. So we've slowed down.
Had some real dramas as well. I won't go into that just now.
But yes, we've had a mini
major
slowdown, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we're getting back into it now. But yeah, we're ready for a bit of a.
Well, we've got some great plans. Yeah. We've got some really interesting things that we want to do. And to be honest, if anybody knows us and anybody's ever talked to us about what we're doing, they'll have no idea because we didn't know what we were thinking of doing. Although it probably won't come to a surprise to some people.
They'll always say, "Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's really what you should do." But
this is gonna be an amazing year. We've got for you viewers. I'm hoping it's gonna be like the bee's knees of a year. All the new Albanian viewers that have come in as well. Yeah. I think you'll find it quite interesting. I hope so. I mean, I know that sometimes if you see videos on your home country, and then we go somewhere else. It becomes less product placement, Michelle. Product placement. Otherwise, I won't get my sponsorship. It won't. What sponsorship? Or otherwise.
But you had that comment, didn't you, about someone who said, why is this man staying so long in Albania?
Yeah, that was weird.
It was a funny one. Why would you?
Who's paying him?
Who's paying him?
Who's paying him to be here?
For 3 to 4 weeks.
I did think you can go and scout that comment out as kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's like some conspiracy theory about nothing.
Very suspicious of that. Why we were here for so long.
The government were paying us, or the tourism board was paying us, and I thought, no, we're just here. So
Eddie says, I'm looking forward to some more Steve's Kitchen. I love to see your food creations.
We will be getting some food creations this year. I think we will get some. I've been learning about Albanian food, by the way. So I've been learning, and I don't know. I do it. I wanted to do something here because I've got a kitchen. I've got some nice setup, but we've got no pots. So they've given us like one pot. Yeah. And
we've got a wooden spatula spoon, but that's about it, haven't we?
Yeah, there's very little stuff.
One teaspoon.
Short of going out and buying everything. I wanted to make the Kossi, Tad Kossi, which I've been learning about. Is the food here is great. I wanted to share with you some local recipes. We might have to. I keep all my notes, so everywhere we go in the world, all I've learned about Mexican cooking, Italian cooking, German cooking, French
sometimes
cooking.
It just takes a little while. Like when we were in Mexico, you learned all about massa and everything, and it took a while, but you did actually get some videos up about all of that, didn't you? Italy.
If you want to know all about, because I get quite into it, I get really passionate about pasta and massa in Italian. There's a wonderful series done by me.
Oh, that series, shall I
love
put a
it.
link in it?
Yeah, that will teach you
it.
about the fundamentals of Mexican cooking and just where it comes from and how they make masa. I literally will go through the whole process of making your own masa. I often get on my flatbreads, people will say, well, that's just a tortilla. I think, no, it's not a bloody tortilla. That's a flatbread, and it's not even close to a tortilla. When I've got a video that, because at home for our kids, we used to make a lot of flatbreads, particularly in France, Benedict. We would often make, sometimes we wanted to get away from a baguette and do something a little different, make almost like a chapati and they're the easiest things to make, and they can be so delicious. And I've got a video that's quite popular, shows how to make the flatbreads. But one of the most common comments you get is, oh, well, it's just a tortilla. And you think, no, it's not a tortilla. Tortillas are very, very different. The flour is different. Proper tortillas are made with masa. And if you want to look into that, there is a series. I've got a whole series about making pastas. I've got a whole bread series that's quite fun if you're into your breads and sourdoughs and all sorts. Rick, if you ever get to watch this, Rick, our friend Rick, he's into his bread at the moment. I meant to message him and say, do try and make the pumpernickel. I know it's not a full-blown pumpernickel bread, but my pumpernickel recipe is one from my childhood, and it's the best flavored fake sort of pumpernickel because it doesn't go into the long, complicated proofing. It's beautiful. Phenomenal.
So Jerry says, Albania has it all. It's a shame it's not where it should be. Haven't been since 2009. I really miss it.
Albania is a beautiful country. The people are wonderful. I never knew a lot about Albania till we got here, as they've obviously had a very hard and troubled sort of the last century, since the 1940s to the 1990s, living under a communist regime. It would have been quite harsh. So it's a fairly young country in that respect, but it has everything. It does have everything. Very beautiful.
So Russia says, how much are Kalamata olives in Albania? I'm wondering if olive oil is very inexpensive there also.
I would imagine Kalamata olives. I haven't bought any, to be honest. But
we've seen lots of olives trees and things.
I'm not even sure, because the Kalamata, is that a particular variety or is that an area of can you just check it for me? And you always see stuff in the West, like it's always Kalamata olives and I don't know.
Yeah, named after the city of Kalamata in the southern.
So it's nothing to do. So we're just talking about brown
southern
olive.
Greece.
We often have things that we call Kalamata because that's what the supermarkets have decided to go with for their branding, and it's written all over. So that type of olive will be sold here. It won't be called Kalamata olives. It'll be from the town they're from, and they'll be super cheap. If you want the word Kalamata written on them, then you'll have to go to an international supermarket, and they'll be processed and disgusting. But when we were in Sicily, for example, there's a video if you want to check out Steve's Kitchen, Olivecchio, Sicily. You'll see I helped pick olives in Sicily with a family there.
And that was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun, and we went up into the mountains and saw the olives being pressed. Now, when you're in those sort of places, olives are super cheap. Now, here will be the same because olives grow everywhere in Albania. So I would imagine so cheap. If you're getting, it will be pennies for and you can grow your own. Yeah. It's not going to be hard to grow and pick olives in Albania. So if that's a thing you like,
that'd be good.
Olives will be phenomenal. I've had good olives here, but I've never seen the word Kalamata, and I think that's because they wouldn't want to call it that. That's a Greek brand, and it's also a brand that you only see in supermarkets. I can't think. It's like cheddar cheese, it's
champagne.
Champagne. It's like. There's probably better examples of that, Michelle, but there are things that they're just olives, basically. They're just olives, plump, dark olives, processed in the same way every olive is all over the world.
But Jerry says, sometimes you can even feel like a foreigner in your own country. This is true if you've been outside and you come back.
Possibly, yeah.
And Eddie says, my Christmas dinner was homemade tamales and pozole. It was fantastic. We had enough tamales for my birthday as well.
I love tamales. I don't think I've got a recipe making, but I can make a damn. Have I got a making tamales?
Yes, you have. You can't remember what you've done. Let me just
remember what I've done. So I love making
How to make tamales.
And the only complicated thing I think, because I like to make tamales with the corn leaves.
Yes, which we did get in
I did, yeah. You've reminded me. Yeah,
we actually went to
shop.
We hunted one out.
So tamales are delicious. They are so special.
That was really good. We did it with the pulled pork and
yeah.
Jerry says, "Have you been to Japan?"
We love Japan. We've been there. I think we'll probably be heading back to Japan in the next next year or so, for sure. Japan is a great fascination to me. So is South Korea and Taiwan, that whole area. I think I mentioned earlier you might not have been here at that point, but that part of Asia to me is one of my favorite parts of the world. And Japan's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Benedict says, Happy's been making bread since 2004, mostly with a bread machine, but totally worth it taste-wise.
Perfectly good. And actually, Benedict, if you get a chance and you want something a little bit different, the ingredients are a little...
It's a long list.
Yeah, it's a long list of ingredients, but the pumpernickel bread that I make, that I used to make for our kids, it's a beautiful one. I think I did it in a bread oven. Did I make it in a bread oven in that particular one? It'll cook in a bread oven. Absolutely no trouble at all. You end up with this beautiful, dark, almost like dark beer coloured bread. I add cocoa and coffee grind into it.
The seeds you put in.
Licorice seeds, whatever they're called. Fennel.
Yeah.
This bread, and when it's a lovely dense bread. It's meant to be dense, but not dense like uncooked.
Yeah.
And it's with rye, and you slice it thin. And if you're good at slicing, you can get paper thin, like you see it in the shops.
Like you buy it.
It tastes nothing like it. It's much nicer than in the shops. A little bit of brie or camembert, a little bit of cream cheese on there, maybe a tiny sprinkle of seasoning. And that is one of the best breads. So if your hubby is into his bread making, give it a try. I just love that bread. You might find it a little bit sort of out there. It is an unusual flavored bread, but it's so delicious. You can make a
loaf, slice it,
you can do it in the oven. Yeah. It freezes really well. Slice it before you freeze it, pop it up.
They're getting cooked.
Oh, I see you looking over there.
No, I'm looking at the oven and he's looking out the window.
So we can get them out. Maybe get those out and pop them on the draining board.
Jerry says, Tav Kossi will not forget, Steve.
Tav Kossi.
And Dan says, you're making me hungry.
Tavdua. What a great dish. That's an Albanian dish that really surprised me. It's so delicious. Now,
just leave the door open.
Yeah. Is the oven off?
Yeah, turn the oven off.
Do you want to get a few on a plate just to show people, because they might be
you
intrigued
might not believe
to
that
see.
Cooked. We're not going to read them.
Look, that's been, how long have we been going? I can't see the time. 53 minutes. So
that's why at the very beginning.
No, so probably about 40 minutes of cooking.
If I can get them out, they're going to be hot.
They look so
with my limited equipment.
Just get a few on that white plate at the top there, Michelle, and I'll show them with the
plate here.
Tav Kossi. Now, there are different types of tav. Tav is like a baked dish. And I had it with both the tender lamb, just melt in the mouth lamb, and I've had it with the beef. Apparently, I'm not sure if it's tavdua or tav kossi that is done with liver. Michelle wouldn't like it, but I would love it. And so there's one dish that's done with liver, and it's done with what looks, and I know it's not the correct name. Look at these. Look at these. Beautiful. Beautiful cooked. So that potato, it's a little over. Look at that.
Jerry says, here in the UK, food is not so good. You become more Albanian than Albanians.
I love the Albanian food. Now, the other thing is these potatoes, this if you had an oven chip, and it's gone a little bit long, so they got quite dark, that's good for me.
That's good.
If you had an oven chip and you cooked it 40 minutes, you'd be eating cardboard. These still have that lovely pliable softness to them.
Potatoes are good here, though,
the potatoes are really good.
Yeah, Rasha said the same here.
Taste like potatoes.
As the US, Jerry, the food here is processed and fruits and vegetables have no taste.
2 potatoes, this is just 2 potatoes, and it's a massive plate now of beautiful cooked potatoes, will cost you probably like 50 to 80 cents European. If you bought a bag of McCain's beer battered Savoy sausage flavored oven chips, don't matter how fancy the name is, you cook them in the oven, they'll dry out, they'll be disgusting, they won't have any flavor, they'll cost you even for 100 lek. Yeah, even if they're on sale, they'll still cost you 2 or 3 euros, and you'll get half the quality. If you've got an air fryer, they do even quicker. You get half the quality, half the flavour, because the flavour of these will be so much more delicious.
And you can put your own little seasonings on.
You put your own seasoning. You don't need to pretend it's got a beer batter outlined. It's going to taste great. I'm going to let them cool down a little bit because I don't want to.
Benedict said, I didn't know the French name for pumpernickel. We'll totally try your recipe as we try to make healthier breads as I'm diabetic.
Yes, and pumpernickel is a beautiful. If you get some old rye flour, which you can. There's no orge in oat. I'm trying to say in French, Benedict, because I used to make this in France. I used to make it for my kids in France. I've made it in Germany. I've made it in Australia.
It's a mixture of white bread flour, whole wheat flour, and rye flour.
And rye flour. So it's a lovely, delicious. Just get good quality flours.
Yeah. And do all the extra little bits. There are a few ingredients. It's worth.
Go for the whole thing. Yeah. Give it a try. Share me a picture across on Instagram, Facebook, email, send me a message.
She said, I know those flowers. Cool.
So, where's that? Do you want to show that? This is another little thing here.
It's a little thing we bought. What you can do when you've got a kitchen.
When you've got a kitchen, look at this. This is our dessert.
Anyone know what it is?
Anybody want to guess?
Just a little jar.
Now, isn't this is sacrilege because this is such a beautiful jar.
My first thing, that's a great jar.
We can keep this. We can make pickled onions, pickled eggs, kimchi, sauerkraut. This is such a beautiful jar, and we can't keep it. I hate it when you go in a supermarket, buy something in a beautiful jar, and this was about €4.50. So this jar was about €4.50. And I'm not going to be able to keep this beautiful jar. And that's sacrilege.
Benedict says cherries. No.
Yeah, it looks like cherries. Good guess, cherries. Benedict.
Anyone else going to have a guess?
But what a delight. These are so good. We have this with an Albanian thick yogurt. So they serve a yogurt here. It's called Kos. I'm not sure. We'll show you get the fresh one, Michelle, because we've got a second one, haven't we? We have 2. So Kos Lope. So it looks like milk. It's actually a really thick yogurt.
Because we actually were in the supermarket and he was buying milk for his coffee.
And the girl, she's sweet.
She is.
We've made a friend in our supermarket. Denny. And she said to me, I said, I need some milk for the coffee. And she said, that's yogurt. And I said, all right, we'll have that anyway. But this lovely thick Albanian Kos. Now, is it Kos or Lopi? I'm not sure, but it says Kos Lopi. So there it is.
I think it's Kos.
And it looks like it should be milk. You can barely get it out. Yeah. It's like trying to get the ketchup out of a bottle.
Eddie says candied apples. Rasha said beets. And Benedict says plums.
Benedict.
You get the star.
Plums it is. So this are preserved plums in a very light syrup. It's not too sweet.
No.
So they've done this perfectly. As I came out of the supermarket, I saw a local guy that I know quite well, and I showed him. I said, "Look at that! That looks nice." I was very proud. I'm sort of carrying it.
I didn't put it in the bag. I said, it was going to break.
I'm carrying it, and I said, "Look at that!" He said, "Oh, raki," and I said, "Is it?" I thought maybe they put it in raki, and I thought, "Oh, that won't please Michelle." But it wasn't. It's in a very light syrup. These are plums.
It's still got the stone in the middle, but easy to get out and delicious. They're like we would say like the
prunes. Prune in French, I think they say prunes. Pruneau. So these are. It was quite hard getting the lid off, by the way.
Well, it did have a thing on the top as well that was stuck on it, wasn't it?
There is. Can you just get me that teaspoon, Michelle, and I'll just show you. Have this.
Do you want a bowl?
No, I'm not going to
make a mess.
I'm not going to eat
one. While I'm just digging one out, just get the name. Itachi says Lope means cow.
So
Lope?
cow's yogurt.
Yogurt. Kos is yogurt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen goat yogurt. Goat is the other one.
Yeah.
The lady told us up in the mountains.
We did. No, we're learning. We're almost fluent in Albanian now, aren't we?
Well, I recognise it. I can't remember it. It's so difficult.
So there it is. There's some of them are bigger than that. Some of them are smaller. But when you eat these,
yogurt from cow milk,
they taste like prunes
as we.
But it plays with your head because you know a prune. If you know what a prune is, a dried prune is quite treacly, sort of dense, dark texture. But this is that light sort of. I think they're peeled. They must peel them.
They're peeled.
I'm going to eat this one. I'm going to eat this
that's
one.
That's he's been quiet for a minute. He's got to get the stone out. Eddie says, I bet that tastes amazing. He'll give you his answer in a minute. And then he's got to get the stone out in the middle. Put the lid on. Not any more without me. Oh. We had 4 with yogurt. And it was delicious. So although it was $4.50.
And who was playing Tinker Tailor?
Me.
Okay. Well, that's
I was a sailor.
You were.
Yeah,
well,
but then
it was a bit obvious, wasn't it? We only had 4.
But then I used yours as well. I was a thief.
Okay.
But $4.50 for this whole thing. This will do it all. 3 or 4 servings.
So it's just a jar. I'm so disappointed. Is anyone in Durres wants a jar?
Yeah.
I'm not throwing it away. I'll have to gift it to somebody and look at me like. Yeah.
What am I going to do with this?
What am I going to do with that? I got loads of them at home.
I used to keep all the jars, and particularly when we lived in France, we'd make all our jams.
We used to make all our preserves.
So, I love keeping those things. But
so sorry about that, Michelle. You have yourself a nice French fry. Now these, from my sort of my German history. Those of you that know me know that I'm predominantly German. When I'm not being something else.
Yeah.
Apparently, who knows what I am. Can you pass the mayo? or should we try that? So I've got a little
it's upside down
Albanian
to come out.
mayonnaise here. And let's get that.
Do you want it? We'll eat all this today, won't we?
Yeah, I'll just get a bit out.
So we get a bit out. You've got a spoon with plum juice on it. It's now all over the table.
So let me just show you what I mean by there is chilies in here. I don't know if it'll show, Michelle, but I'll try and get it to the camera without dropping it on my keyboard. Can you see?
It's just they're not really chilies. They're sort of
like capsicum peppers.
Yeah, delicious. It's a bit like we said, a bit like a tzatziki, isn't it?
Yeah, like a tzatziki with.
But it's not yogurt; it's cream.
I think it's cream.
I know it's cream. It said so on the label.
Sour cream.
Yeah, sour cream.
So a little sour cream, a little bit of. There's a little heat in those peppers, though.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. We had it with rice with vegetables that you made yesterday, and then some of this on the side.
That's almost Mexican. That's almost something the Mexicans would come up with.
Yeah.
And the use of, if you know,
a bit of avocado on that.
What's that wonderful Mexican dish that's the national dish of Mexico?
Yes, the
made with the chilies en nogada.
Yes.
Chili en nogada. It almost reminds me a little bit of chilies. Did you eat the French fry I gave you?
Sorry?
Did you eat a French fry?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Of course.
I thought I dreamt that I gave you.
No, I didn't have one. He didn't give me one, did he?
Yeah, there's a nice big one.
Can I have it with a bit of this?
Yeah, try it with that. It's so good.
Can't get it.
No, you won't be able to get it up because the.
Oh gosh, now I get that from the plate to
don't
me.
Get that on your keyboard. There's nothing in a cellophane packet that comes from the frozen section of the supermarket that tastes like this. Yeah. There's nothing, and this is just a regular potato. little seasoning, tiny bit of oil.
And didn't have to do anything.
Ever so healthy.
Threw it in the oven.
Just
turned
chucked
it
in the
once,
oven,
but we didn't
turned it
have to.
Sorry, Hannah, I'm going to have this other one.
That's all right.
You can grab
I've got loads there.
some more. They are delicious.
And we're just having that with cauliflower and the sour cream.
We were going to have something out, chicken. We were going to have chicken, but the chicken place they didn't have any ready.
No.
So we were going to have like a spit roast chicken. There's a guy downstairs that sells those, about €6 for chicken. Delicious.
Yeah, that does us 2 days too, doesn't it? So that's tomorrow. We're having that tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll have that.
Yeah, with the cauliflower and things.
So any questions we might have missed?
Those fries are massive, says Eddie.
They're also delicious.
I like that you keep correcting your spellings. I know it's been spell checked wrong or you spelled it wrong. It's great.
If you had a Mac fry and these here, you would be fighting for my hands to get this out of my hand, and the fry would get you nowhere.
So has everybody hit the thumbs up for me? You know, I love my thumbs up. Is it going to do a thumbs up? Fireworks? Oh, we got fireworks.
I think that was my thumbs up.
Of course, it doesn't like me.
So we're going to have those. We're going to have those beautiful plums with prunes.
Yogurt. Yes, with yogurt.
With yogurt for dessert. And we're going to have those amazing French fries or chips, as we call them. We're going to have the chips.
Little bit of vinegar.
Little bit of vinegar, a little bit of, probably don't need any seasoning.
No.
So the other thing we've been cooking here are just fresh vegetables. So we can go and get aubergines and courgettes, cut them up, dice them up, fry them in some olive oil, and just the last couple of days I've been cooking a little bit of rice to go with them as well, which is quite nice.
So I think we had rice when we first arrived, and then we didn't seem to have any, and then we decided to get some rice again. So Dwayne says the chips look good.
Thank you, Dwayne. They are good and very tasty, although I'm hungry. So, so we really haven't 100% decided what we're doing. I think what we shall do is stay in Albania for a little while longer. I better check that our visa's not running out. Maybe one of you have a look at the first video and see when we arrived.
Yeah, we've kept pretty up to date, haven't we?
Yeah, we've kept pretty up to date. The videos we putting up now are within days, if not maximum a week, maybe behind.
It's a little bit slow because of the Christmas period.
Yeah, and also there was a little period where I was poorly, so I had a slowdown. So,
but it's all good now.
Brilliant! I'm brilliant now.
I said, who says that? He said, I did.
Can I get one of those?
Ooh. Oh, shall I give you a heart here as well? Look.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hit the heart button. Send us a heart.
I can do all the hearts.
So it's coming to, I think what I would like to do, and my Albanian friends watching now, what do you think? I think we should go back to the capital for a little while, just a little bit of time in the capital, because I miss Tito's with this wonderful
and Tijani's.
Tijani's.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that.
I was just thinking, because Durres is really nice. I like Durres, but Durres is now we've booked ourselves in for a week, 10 days, I think in total we'll be having here. I realise there's not a lot around here. It really is just a holiday town.
And it closes in the winter,
and everything's sort of shut down. Perfectly fine. You can adequately be here. There's no issue. The supermarkets are open. But it's a little bit lacking in places to go out and enjoy, sort of, even today I was saying to Michelle, I said, let's go. And I really fancy just going out for a nice coffee and a cake. Nothing really. There's one place and it's super under par, way below par. So might be a nice idea to head back to Tirana for a little while. We were planning on going across to Bari in Italy. I think we're going to shelve that. We were planning on going across to Greece. I think we're going to shelve that because Greece really appeals to me, but I think we don't want to have our first experience of Greece where it's all a bit shut down. Let's go and get experience in Greece when it matters.
Yes.
There's plenty of things to do, plenty of things to see around the world. So we'll have a little slowdown, another week or 10 days, maybe 2 weeks here in Albania. We'll create some more content for you. If you've got any ideas you want to share with us, any places you still want us to go.
Rasha says Scotland, which is the next beach down, isn't it?
Yeah, we've walked down to there. Yeah, so it's I wouldn't pick it. I wouldn't pick it. I mean, we almost stayed there, but it's not. It's a little rougher, not as nice as where we are, which is Durres sort of beachfront. It's a walking distance. We can walk into Durres Central, and we can walk down to Gollum quite easily.
Eni says Gollum is the worst beach in Albania.
It's a rough feeling area. To me, it felt rough, and not in a way that you feel frightened. It just felt like there's a shopping centre on the corner of one of the big roundabouts, and everything smells of mildew and mould and sewers, and it was just not nice. And it was like really run down. All the floors were rotten, and it didn't feel good. And that's about 20 minutes walking that way, and then if we walk 20 minutes that way, we can get into Durres, into the centre. I think I like this beach area, but I'd probably miss a lot of the wonderful conveniences of being in Tirana itself.
And it's been a while since we did that when we first arrived.
And we've just been up in Gjirokasta, which is beautiful. We've got a video that I've just filmed there. Lovely city up in the mountains. Saranda, as you know, lovely. Vlora, I don't know. We had a negative experience in Vlora, which I'm not even going to share the story. I didn't feel the vibes of Vlora, and it could be just me. But out of the two cities you were asking earlier, Rasha, I think Saranda is really one of my favourites. Up in the mountains, I love Skodra. I think Skodra is a very pretty and got so much to offer. There's other towns we haven't been to yet.
Rasha said, how about Fier?
Yes, there's a lot of towns we haven't been to because we haven't got the car anymore. No. We had to take the car back. So it
was good to have a car. I recommend if you're coming,
get a car, just rent or buy, something so you've got transportation. It makes life a lot easier. So
Itachi said that was probably Spekka, mi salsa kosi. Translation would be yogurt sauce with pepper.
Yes.
Oh, yogurt sauce.
It could be a yogurt, like a really.
But it's a really creamy.
Yeah, but if it was like sour. A very heavily drained yogurt, you can get it like that. I've strained yogurt to that level.
Anyway, it was delicious.
It's delicious. Yeah. So it could be yogurt. I hesitate to use the G word because I know a lot of Albanians don't like the reference to their neighbour as that. But for the rest of the world, there's a G yogurt, which is. It should be a strained yogurt. In our supermarkets in Australia, and I see this all over the world now, it's just basically thickened with a bit of gelatin. Yeah. But if you take regular yogurt and you hang it in a muslin cloth, which we used to do with our kids, if you take regular yogurt, hang it in a muslin cloth in a sort of little basket, sieve or bamboo basket, and let all the whey drain out of it, you end up with this very thick, delicious G yogurt. Or Albanian yogurt. Let's call it an Albanian. This strained Albanian yogurt, and that you can add all sorts of things to, and almost make it like a cream cheese, like a Philadelphia. If you add some lightly toasted garlic, chives, paprika, you can end up with like a very delicious, and that does taste a bit like that. So yeah, you're probably right. It probably is just a very.
And it says it's ricotta cheese. Spekka, mi.
It's not ricotta.
Just?
It's not ricotta because ricotta is made in a completely different way, and the texture is wrong. You make ricotta from the sort of leftover whey produce from making other cheeses, and it's often grainy and sort of like coarse. That's not ricotta. It
actually says it was too creamy to be.
It's not a ricotta because ricotta, it's even if you were to take the whey residue from making another cheese and add a thermophilic culture like yogurt culture, it wouldn't set.
No. We used to get the ricotta in Sicily, didn't we? We used to buy it with the ricotta in the little baskets.
We did used to, and we used to buy.
Thinking about that.
Yeah. So no, it's they sell a lot of ricotta here, and it's not called ricotta, so I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. There's another name for it in Albania, but it's a textured.
It's a Gize.
Ma lunette, s'il vous plaît.
Gize. How do you pronounce that?
Guiche.
Guiche.
Guiche. And that is, they sell that all here. It's still quite grainy in texture. It's a beautiful, and that's used in my tadkosi, a lot of those dishes, the sort of baked dishes. Okay, I don't want to make this too long.
Nope.
We've got a video that we're probably going to put up Wednesday,
maybe?
From further down south. Then we've got another video that we've just made here in Durres, and then we'll make some more videos. We might try and do another live stream. We are going to be here for a little while longer, while we work out where we're going. And if you're watching this later on, I'd love to get your comments.
Give us your suggestions, comment, and let us know what we should do.
We will sleep on them, wake up the next morning, change them all around, do something different. We have got some really amazing ideas.
This plan is sort of sticking around.
This one is lasted more than 3 days, so we've got some ideas. It may vary. You will find out about it.
I'm not telling you yet because it keeps changing.
No, because there's no point us saying.
No, we'll tell you. We'll do like we did when we arrived here. Where are we?
Yeah.
That's what we did when we arrived. Because it was, that was a good experience.
And by the way, I owe I don't know who I owe. I owe some of you an apology, because we still have our beautiful series of cycling in Taiwan that I put on the back burner because of the cycling around Europe. And that whole series is wonderful. I really enjoyed that time. So that's got to go up at some point. So we might have a little breather at some point and put that series up. And for those of you who've asked about cooking videos, keep nagging me. Maybe towards the latter part of this year, I can try and...
You can just throw some in occasionally.
I need somewhere to stop with a kitchen that's got more than just a pot and a pan. I need, if I want to do tadkosi, I've got to, or tadua, I've got to have those lovely little dishes. And
which is fine, we can buy them and leave them behind, but then, we've got lots of other things you've got to buy as well to actually produce that.
Yeah, we're often only in a place for a couple of weeks. No, I haven't got my chef knives with me, or chef knives, I haven't got my cutting knives with me. So, I normally used to travel all the time with the chef knives and chef jackets and things. We haven't got it for this particular trip. So, but I would need the appropriate pans, and we have got a frying pan here, but it's really not great quality. And I would love to have some of those little either earthenware or cast iron pots that you serve it in or cook it in. I've got the recipe. It's all logged. It's written down. We might have to share it with you. I might do a whole Albanian series. How about that? I might do a whole Albanian series from another location. I'd love to do it from here, but I may not be here. So
I was just thinking about your chef's jackets, but you've got a chef jacket in ours.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
Yeah, the ninja one.
Yeah. It's a bit of a, mix up a bit, but it's definitely
it's a bit. Yeah. As soon as I said ninja, did you not suddenly think that word doesn't work?
No, I did, because it's the right colours, and instead of the eagle, it's just a dragon.
Well, maybe I could get someone to get me an Albanian, a beautiful Albanian.
Yeah.
Or I can have one made.
Yeah, or waistcoat.
A waistcoat, a little waistcoat, and I could do an Albanian series.
Yeah.
Albanian friends, remind me, get in the kitchen, get some of these recipes cooked. Let's learn together. Let's share some of these ideas. I'll keep the recipes nice and simple. We'll make some burek, which...
So Benedict said, good idea to make recipes from where you're traveling.
Yeah.
He's got lots of notes and things.
I've got recipes that I've written down, a series that I've written down, Benedict, because you'll know from Steve's Kitchen, from my old self on YouTube, when I was doing the chefing and teaching people how to cook. And if you didn't know, Benedict, my original history in this is being to do with charcuterie. So my first sort of thing I wanted to teach about was French style charcuterie, or Italian also charcuterie. And there's quite a bit on my channel showing you how to make certain things. There's guanciale, and there's brines and prawns, and various things, sausage making. So that was the original idea, but I've been
It's evolved.
I've been keeping notes and writing down. I've got, maybe one day I'll do a cookbook to share of different parts of the world where we've been, all about the foods, even from China. When I think about the broken bridge noodles.
We talked about China, weren't we?
Yeah. China's another place I wouldn't mind going back to. Why did we talk about Kunming? I think we were talking about Kunming. I said I would love to go back to Kunming. Many years ago, I was in Kunming in China, beautiful part of the world. And I've always loved my little beads. These beads will eventually break, but these were little prayer beads from a Buddhist temple. And I adapted them slightly in length so that they would go around my delicate little slim arms. When we were in Kunming in China, I remember going and I saw this young man. He was carving these beautiful beads from, I want to say like olive seeds, but they weren't. But they were a seed, and he was carving every one.
They're beautiful. So
beautiful. Little faces, little trees, and then he was putting them onto these beads, and you could watch him making them, and he wasn't out in a high street. He was down in a little basement shopping centre. And I said to Michelle, "Oh, they're so nice." And I said to him, "How much are they?" And he said something, I don't know. It might have equated to like 100 euros or something. And I remember thinking at the time, because we were in China mode and everything was like 8 pence. and I thought, they're very expensive. And I've always regretted. They probably weren't even that much.
No.
But I always regretted not buying them, and I forgot about it before we left, so I didn't get them. And I said to Michelle, one day we're going to go back to Kunming, and I'm going to go and see that young lad, and I'm going to chat with him, and I'm going to buy myself these beads. I'm going to get something for Michelle as well. There was a pretty little bracelet that was all handmade.
Yeah.
So we're going to have something there. We'll see.
Yes. So
that may happen.
Benedict says, I've watched some of your recipes.
Thank you, Benedict.
And Ling says, sorry, I'm late here, but just want to know if you took an international driver's license to drive in Albania. Thank you.
Yes. Do you need it here?
They say you do. Ours, I didn't actually ask for it, but I would have one. Because technically, you need one.
I don't always travel with an international because they run out every time. But I do have international driver's license this year for almost everywhere in the world. So we've got a couple of different international driver's license to cover most of the countries.
And Albania, it says you need one.
You should have it, and get it in your own country before you leave. Generally, it's not expensive.
It's worth peace of mind. And,
So for now, we did have a problem with the car. Did we go into that?
You said you were going to do a concise video of renting, and maybe you can deal with that.
But nothing major, and nothing to do with the company. Were wonderful, but we did have a small problem. I would say definitely rent in these places.
It meant that we could actually get around, and it was easy. We could stop. We did like it.
We did say to ourselves this year we would rent more often a car, because quite often we get to places and we're not able to get around as easily as we planned. Sometimes in parts of Asia, you think, I can just take taxis and use the apps in those countries. But sometimes it's just nice to be able to.
And sometimes when you're in a big city, you don't always want it for getting around. It's easy to use the public transport. But like for here, Tirana's small-ish anyway, and to get around Albania and a lot of countries.
Our biggest problem is we often base ourselves in places where we can walk a lot, because we love walking. And so quite often you'll rent a car for maybe 2 weeks and be in the city centre, and then you'll just for out of those 14 days, 7 of them it's just parked in the parking space. So you're paying, whether you're paying 25 euros or 40 euros a day, you just feel you begrudge
you've got to go out and do
paying for a car that's just parked. And I don't want to just go out every day driving randomly when I can walk around a city, and I love walking.
And then the other issue we have is we don't always want to go back to where we picked the car.
Yeah, that's the other big issue is there's very few places in the world, although when we did the Land's End to John O'Groats walk, we actually got a car and we drove up to Scotland and we left it there and then walked from Scotland to south of England. Now, it wasn't expensive. There
was one other place. We did actually from Sydney to Melbourne as well.
Yeah, we did it once.
And there was no fee.
There was no fee. So occasionally you can do that.
You've got to keep your eye out.
Yeah,
most of the time
some countries, if you say I want to pick up in Tirana and I want to drive down to Saranda, and then go across to Greece, for example, you might find that the rental for the car will be, so I don't know, maybe it's $100 for a week or $180 for a week. And then because you're dropping it up a different place, it goes up $300, and you think, oh, it's just not. But
we did ask them, because we were down in Saranda. We did ask them, didn't we, if they would collect the car, and they would have done.
These guys would, and we could have actually retrospectively done a deal for them to pick up in Saranda, and it was working out around about an extra, I want to say 60, 70 euros or something, or
I think it was a little bit more than that.
Was it more than that?
Yeah.
So they were prepared to come and collect it for us, but
we decided to come back, we've done more things since, so it wasn't a problem. So Lynn says, thank you guys, I enjoy your videos, good to hear.
Any questions, last questions before we go? Have I missed any? If you asked a question before it didn't get answered, now's the time to chuck it in there, because we are going to end and have our chips. And have I covered what I really wanted to say?
I think so. It's how we've enjoyed.
I know we're being a bit cloak and dagger and not necessarily saying exactly what we're doing, and it's mainly because we're not sure.
It's because it changes all the time, you know. If you sort of announce it or people expect you to do it, and then you change it, and they say, "Well, you said you were doing this."
Well, we've said we're going back to Tirana. That's not booked, but I think that'll happen.
Yeah, that will.
But it's not.
No, I think it will.
So I think back to Tirana. That may be within the next 4 days. We have to head back up to Tirana and spend some time there, which I'm quite looking forward to.
Yes.
There's only one small caveat: that might not happen if we suddenly decide we will go to Greece or Italy. But I think we've pretty much decided it's too cold and too low season for it. So, and after that, the world is your lobster.
Yeah. Where's that reference from?
Yeah, where's that reference? Who used to say that?
I know.
Yeah, you do know. So any questions? Was there any questions we missed? Ling?
No.
Quick go through. Benedict. Dwayne at the beginning. Is Dwayne still in there? Who else is in?
Eddie, Jerry.
Anyone lurking?
Rasha.
Just want to say hello and a happy new year. Hit the thumbs up if you get the chance. Come on, anyone just lurking, say happy new year.
Yes.
And we'll let you go. Anybody want some sort of fake McVitie's chocolate digestives from Romania? Probably me. Even fake, I quite enjoy them. Nice cup of tea. Oh, I know what I'd like to do, a little series, a little episode, not a series, because I don't think it could do a series. But the chai mali, the mountain tea here, I've really enjoyed that. That's beautiful. So if you're from Albania and you're not able to get chai mali, if you're outside of, living overseas, that is a wonderful tea. I mean, it's
got one left.
It's close. No, I finished the packet that I had, but it reminds me a bit of a pu'er.
China.
Pu'er tea from China. It's got lovely flavors, and it's not a tea. Technically, it's not even really a tea, although anything can be a tea. But it's not a black tea. It's not a tea from the tea plant. But it's definitely interesting, and if you're a tea drinker, really delicious.
So Dan says Happy New Year. Dan, you were in.
Happy New Year,
and
Danny.
Benedict says Bon année.
Bon année.
That's it. Nobody else is
all
going
right.
to say it.
Nobody else.
Time to go have my chips.
Love you all. We will see you. Quick look at the comments, Michelle. See if anyone jumps in there as I find with my mouse. Look at this, my little.
Yeah.
Why is my mouse gold?
Ah.
Only you and I know, Michelle. All right. Love you.
Yes.
Happy New Year, and
Happy
we
New
will
Year.
see you
that way.
very shortly. Video on Wednesday. Another one ready before the weekend, I think. Take care. Was that a question?
No, that's Eddie saying, have a good afternoon, you guys.
Good afternoon.
Thank
Ciao.
you, Eddie. Bye.